Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and there's a lot of red in the crypto market this morning, providing me a not necessarily a crypto buying opportunity, but anytime I see things that are screaming some kind of market manipulation, in other words, like when XRP goes down as a result of some random article about Bitcoin, to me, if I'm in the market to buy some XRP, that's when I do my buying. But anytime I see a lot of red, and it looks like there's a lot of red in the stock market, I have one pick for one thing I'm going to be buying for crypto. I'll tell my member group about that. But there's one crypto related thing in the public market that I'm going to buy today. And then I'm also going to look to go and buy some Circle. I bought some Circle private equity on Link2, who is my sponsor. I bought some Circle a week or two ago. I think they're adding more Circle to the platform today, and I'm going to try to go in and buy some more Circle either today, in the next 2 or 3 days anyway, if it's still available. So go check it out. I think it'll be on there today. Now the Bitcoin or the crypto market in general got hit. I've seen this 1,000 times at this point. We're total market cap's at 1.6 trillion. Bitcoin took a hit of about 6.6%. Now look at this. This is what I find. These are when I see real opportunities. So the whole market goes down, and I'll show you why. It was over somebody acting like the Bitcoin ETF might not be approved or whatever. And because of that, the whole market crashes. XRP, which has underperformed just about everything, goes down twice as much as Bitcoin. See, these type of things scream market manipulation to me. But that's where the opportunities are, because I've always been in crypto, I've always been a long-term holder anyway. So this is what they say caused the drop in prices. And this, wait, let me see if I got this in the right order. Yeah. Zero Hedge put this out. These people who I've never even heard of, I've been in this a long time, I don't even follow them, now I do. Matrix Port, maybe that's what they wanted with some followers. Matrix Port, which I've never heard of, on target, projects a January rejection for Bitcoin spot ETFs by the SEC, cautioning traders to hedge the long position. They did a whole report why the SEC will reject. I wonder if Gary Gensler commissioned this report. That's the first thoughts that I have when I see something like this. That's how dirty these people are. And even if he didn't commission it, somebody on Wall Street probably did. Said, hey, you should write a report about how you think it can be rejected. Then they go in and buy it up. Make no mistake, folks. This I would bet dimes to donuts this is some kind of Wall Street manipulation. Then here it is, the CoinDesk runs it, expects SEC to reject all applications. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't put anything past Gary. Then Zero Hedge this is the tell right here. Zero Hedge then tweets this out. Brilliant work, guys. Hook them in, then pull the rug. The same company, Matrix Report, or the same Twitter handle, that may not even be a company, on January 1st, so this comes out 2 hours ago. But on January the 1st, they put out this. Anticipate a substantial Bitcoin surge to 50,000 in January, driven by an imminent Bitcoin spot ETF approval. Then a couple of days later, they put out a report saying they don't think it's going to be. I mean, come on. Meta Lawman is kind of more where my head is. If the SEC were to deny all spot Bitcoin ETFs, the applicants, this is an adult in the room, folks. The applicants would immediately sue, and the DC Court of Appeals would again rule that the SEC was arbitrary and capricious. The SEC gave every reason they had for denying Grayscale and lost. I expect multiple approvals on January the 10th. Then we've got this. Charles Gasparino had tweeted out, if true, big surprise to market, not to me. Gary Gensler hates crypto, as does the person he really reports to, Senator Warren. SEC will reject all Bitcoin spot ETFs in January, says Matrix analyst. Caitlin Long says, finally, reporter writes, what was once an open secret but is now no longer a secret. Senator Warren's, not President Biden, controls all Biden admin financial services appointees. Please keep going on this, Charles Gasparino. Did they cut that deal when she dropped out of the 2020 race as rumored? Yes, they did. Okay. And she, for some, well, I won't go there. Then we've got this. Check this out. This is interesting because this lets you know that Fox News is watching all of us here in crypto Twitter. You'll look here. He uses the unusual whales who we feature on this channel all the time, and so these guys, they know where to go to get their news. They know where the interesting stuff's happening. Here's a clip from Jesse Waters where they're showing how corrupt our congressmen are.
After a lackluster 2022, 23 was a hot year for stocks. The S&P 500 was up 24%. So how's your portfolio looking? Bet it's not looking as good as members of Congress, because politicians crushed the market last year. Their performance smoked, and I mean smoked, professional money managers who do this all day for a living. Let's take a look back at 2023's best performing stock pickers in Congress, thanks to stock market congressional expert and tracker Unusual Whales. Coming in at number 1, Democrat Congressman Brian Higgins from New York. He was up a whopping 239%. And he's going out on top. He's leaving Congress in February. Smart. Sitting in at number 2, Republican Congressman Mark Green from Tennessee, who was up 122% this year. Democrat Senator Dick Blumenthal, also on the list of lawmakers who destroyed the market this year. He was up 68%. What about the Wolf of Washington? Nancy Pelosi, she came in 41 points above the S&P 500 this year. Well done, Nance.
They're criminals, folks. These are criminals. We have to clean these people out. Speaking of criminals, here's an article where they featured Stephen Narioff. The Dow hack, a pivotal event in Ethereum's history, is now being labeled an inside job by Narioff. This allegation implicates members of the Ethereum Foundation in orchestrating the hack. Narioff's statement suggests ongoing background activities, implying that more information is yet to surface. Nobody has covered it. Not CoinDesk, not Laura Shin, who seems to be the Ethereum expert. She's moved on to Solana. Go figure. None of them will have Narioff on to ask him to get in detail about this, because they can't. Okay, check this out. Fox Business had, I'm not going to play it because it's just too nauseating, but Fox Business had Anthony Pompliano, the pizza Bitcoin guy, on for over 8 minutes, okay? Now, and Chip from On the Chain, who I met at the proper party, nice guy, he says Pomp is allotted a generous 8 minutes to discuss Bitcoin, while John Deaton has hurried through a brief 3-minute segment to discuss the case of the century. How does that add up? And I was making the point up here that they're continuing this false narrative that somehow crypto is a free market and it's a level playing field, and it's not. And Anthony Pompliano knows this as well as anybody. Liz Clayman knows it too. He's continuing this false narrative that we somehow have a free market in crypto. If you really had a free market, they would be promoting multiple crypto ETFs, not just Bitcoin. XRP is still the only digital asset with legal clarity. Bitcoin does not have legal clarity. Bitcoin has opinion clarity from the people that are currently in power, period. They know it, okay? They also know that XRP is the only one with legal clarity. But they're continuing this charade. We continue watching a government, Wall Street, media-run crypto narrative, not a real free market. And that is the fact, Jack. Now, speaking of facts, this is Andy Schectman, okay? And don't forget, Andy Scheckman, he's Miles Franklin, who is one of my sponsors. Miles Franklin Precious Metals. You call them at this number, or you can email me at info@milesfranklin.com. Get code DAI Gold. In my opinion, we're going to need it, and I do have it. Physical gold. Watch this.
That I would say to people, what makes the dollar the world reserve currency? You know, in 1971, it was delinked to gold when Nixon closed the gold window, and it was backed by nothing. A few years later, there was a deal struck between Henry Kissinger and the Saudi kingdom that, hey, we're going to protect you, but for that protection, you're going to value oil globally in U.S. dollars. The synthetic demand that has been created for dollars over the last 50 years is a byproduct of the protection of the Saudi kingdom. And so when you see Saudi Arabia and OPEC pushing back and signing all of these agreements to join the BRICS and to join this growing union of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the largest regional military organization in the world, in essence, you have the linchpin of the dollar hegemony being called into question. And I guess I would simply say that when you stop using the dollar for settlement, little by little by little, we see all of these countries like Ethiopia, as a general said, yeah, I mean, in and of itself, what does it really matter? It's another chop at the dollar hegemony. It's also the fastest growing economy in Africa. And Venezuela has now formally applied to the BRICS. They have the largest known oil reserves in the world, little by little by little by little, and bang, all at once, when there's an admission by Saudi Arabia and OPEC that, look, you guys signed an executive order to go green. We respect that. Thanks for the 50 years. But listen, we're joining with all of our brothers and sisters on the Belt Road Initiative. We've decided to join the BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And this is a group of countries that aren't going green and represent the majority of human population. So when that happens, when people no longer need to hoard dollars to buy oil, that synthetic demand dies. And what happens when those dollars are then dumped in favor of something else? Those dollars hit our shores in a tsunami of inflation, creating hyperinflation, which the byproduct of that is our interest rates that spiked to the moon. And so when you talk about the potential of a reset, the reason that I feel that this is happening is that, look, we have a situation that is untenable in terms of the path that we are on. And, you know, people say, well, we can inflate, or we can default, or how about option number 3, find a villain? And that villain would be Xi Jinping and Putin and OPEC, and how could they do this to us? And you point to a villain that has forsaken the dollar, that has destroyed everything, destroyed the economy. And I think that is really interesting when you realize that the lead economic advisor to the United States government is a man named Jared Bernstein, whose whole thesis is to lose the world reserve status because it's a privilege we can no longer afford. So you weaponize the dollar, you sanction 2 of the BRICS countries in Iran and in Russia, and then you sign an executive order to go green, push away the linchpin of the dollar hegemony. It is a much bigger deal than people understand. And so while we may not see a reserve currency come up anytime soon, maybe it'll take a few years, a robust, well-funded, liquid bond market that has trust. But what you will see is a continuation of settlement being chosen in other currencies, whether it be a unified currency or local currencies. Settlement. The lack of settlement in U.S. dollars, where 20% of global oil supply was sold in other currencies this year, will at some point start to wreak havoc on the reserve status of the U.S. dollar. It is a very big deal, one that most people can't get out of the way of because they don't even see it coming.
I think that he just said, let me sum up what he just said, that we're going to need a replacement for the petrodollar. What could it be? Now, in DAIXRP.com, we're going to be talking about the island guy because there's some major developments and there's a lot of things that I saw that I wanted to show you. And for those that say, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with crypto, it has everything to do with crypto. And let me tell you this too, I am going to tell you that publicly traded stock. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm going to tell the group, the member group, that publicly traded stock I'm buying. I'm continuing, I told you before, I'm continuing to buy this one particular thing, but I just bought some more while I was doing the show. you can actually do that. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. DAIXRP.com. Here we go.